What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on Gene Vids with yours truly, Adit Rajram. Today we're talking about chromosomal translocations, but let me ask you a quick question. Why do you think so many people are affected by diseases like lymphoma and leukemia? If you don't know, there's a very simple reason why. Well, this is due to a process called chromosomal translocations. Well, you might ask, what even are chromosomal translocations? Well, chromosomal translocations are a type of mutation in chromosomes where pieces of non-homologous chromosomes get interchanged or swapped, as you can see here. It results in mutated DNA and can cause many effects. Well, you might ask, how does this lead to diseases like lymphoma and leukemia? Well, that is due to a process called cell division. How does chromosomal translocations lead to cancer? And that's because of a process called cell division. So, what even is cell division? Well, cell division is when or how body systems grow and develop by replicating or duplicating our cells. So, normally, cell division happens by replicating DNA through a process called interphase, where it grows and develops twice, and then through the S phase, as you can see over here, it replicates the DNA. And then, normally, it dies. But before it does that, it goes to mitosis, where it takes the DNA and uses the DNA to separate it into two new nucleoluses, and then breaks it apart into two new cells through a process called cytokinesis. Well, then when we head over to cancer cell division, this just gets uncontrolled. Why? Because this process called G0, or where cells die, that does not happen. So this keeps repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. Like we said here, mitosis repeats. And even cytokinesis repeats, which leads to the process of cancers. And now you might ask, why are even lymphoma and leukemia caused by chromosomal translocations? Well, that is because they are types of cancer. Diseases can be caused by chromosomal translocations. Well, there are two. The first one is lymphoma, and the second one is leukemia. So, lymphoma is a type of blood cancer related to immune system cells that cause an inability of the immune system to fight off simple diseases. So, here's how it works. So, first, chromosomal translocations create mutations in DNA of white blood cells. This leads to uncontrollable cell division. As time passes, more and more lymphoma cells are made, and as more time goes on, your body will just lose the ability to fight off simple diseases. Now, leukemia, on the other hand, is a type of blood cancer related to blood forming cells or red blood cells, and it affects body functions by making a lot of them. So it works by making the mutations, making in red blood cells that causes uncontrollable cell division. Then that leads to a just abnormal amount of red blood cells, and as time goes on, many of your body system functions just get affected in bad ways. So now, leading off that, let's talk about the effects of chromosomal translocations. So there are three topics, or actually there's two really. There are general health impacts and health impacts due to diseases. So general health impacts are there are three, and the three that are there are disorders in the growth of the human body, disruptions in human functions, and disruptions in the development of the body. So all of these kind of affect how you develop as a person in terms of your body functions and like how your arms develop. All of that gets affected. Now, impacts regarding diseases are caused by them. So there are three, and the three are weakness, fatigue, and excessive weight loss, which means you'll lose way too much weight. So now all this bad stuff is bad, but luckily there is a good point, and that is that we are treating these diseases, and I'll tell you how. So there's two different ways we treat these diseases: one by cancer therapy, and two by transplant surgery. So the types of cancer therapy are chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and target therapy. All three of these use amazing technologies to again get out those cells and try to stop the cancer. Here are the citations. Well, that wraps up for. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.